Welcome to the upper frequency line. This is a recording of a live connection session with Eva and Therese. Please give yourself time to sit undisturbed during the connection. Sit comfortably with closed eyes or looking softly into the distance. Is the 7th of September, and we're having, so it should be the last step up, but let's see what's happening on our frequency line. It's not a line anymore.
Nope.
So some of the things that happened one of the other days, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, where there was like I don't know if you remember, there was like an opening like this in the middle of the line, like opening up like that. Well, that one has now gone, there's several up lines like this.
Is that the water that's added to it?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
It's more the whole thing. I see it more now as before it was just like the line and the steps, but right now I see it as art. It's just like, if I can look at it, it's got more depth. It's got symbols. It's just so much more than just the 2D step ups. Now it's 3D, it's 5D nearly, and it's just depth, and there's lots of stuff happening.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot there in today's step, so to speak, or today's space.
It reminds me very much of the Promised Land.
Okay. There are structures in it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see where the water is. So the water has nearly all of it joined the upper line, or just some of it is just beneath the upper line. Remember yesterday it was like, whitish down near the lower line and more blue closer to the top. Now all of that white stuff has gone up into like a thicker blue portion just underneath the line. Okay, how many percent have joined the upper line? Oh, also there are very few dots or circles representing sort of people moving up down near the lower line. Like it's much more densely populated up in the upper part. How many percent? 17. It's almost like the migration is nearly over from the bottom part to the upper part, unless something else happens that opens up for another gang to start migrating. But let's see.
Possibly the children.
Yeah. So if we can get a number of how big a step it was today, oh my God, that's like, so that shows up as, so I'm saying these kind of lines above, there's like 3, and that look kind of like this. And so when I'm looking for the number of the step, it's 3 and then 3 above the 3, and they're kind of sitting out like this, and they're blue. So how big a step? 3 times 3 times 3. No? Yeah. So the step is 3, but it's to the power of. Do you understand to the power of? Like
Yeah.
when you in maths? Mm. Well, that's interesting. I don't know quite how to interpret that. So let's see if we can get a feeling of the step up, though. Not just a visual, but a feeling. So let's count back from the beginning. So we have 31st. There's the split. And then the first is a big step up, second, smaller step, third, bigger step, fourth is a bit of a different kind of step, fifth, quite a big step, sixth, a different kind of step again, and the seventh. Yeah, it's a very different kind of step. It's like a step like that, where it gets, it's like something that proliferates,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
like that.
I'm seeing this spiral.
Yeah, so that's the to the power of, because that's like multiple.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It doesn't feel like the up step is bigger than a step or a half a step or something, but it's like a whole other quality.
Yeah.
And the space involved is it's a very different space.
Yeah.
It's a much more, yeah, proliferated space is the best way to describe it. There's also a very sure feeling about it,
Yeah.
like a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And there are some kind of symbols in blue or green or both. Okay, let's check out the water. Let's see. Is there any more water that wants to join us? Okay, Atlantic Ocean shows up. That whole middle part again, actually along that ridge that runs in the middle of the Atlantic. All right, let's see. So that again shows up the same way that the other water did, the Pacific. as very white down the bottom and then bluer the higher it gets. Okay, so that one will probably just continue processing on its own. We'll see tomorrow what happened to that one. Well, let's check out the shield. Oh, the shield is big. It's much bigger now than at arm's length with the padding. It goes like probably twice as far out. What's your shield like?
It's very, very strong. It's like the surface is pretty much unbreakable.
The padding surface or the shield surface?
The shield surface.
Yeah.
It feels very secure and safe to have it.
Mm. It feels actually almost a bit like it's comforting.
Yeah, definitely comforting.
A bit like when you're little and you get to sit on mommy's lap or something.
Yeah.
That kind of,
Security feels for me like
yeah.
I know I'm safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and safe, and that extra amount of space. Do you feel that space as well? Like it's much bigger than it was?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So the feeling is like walking around in a crowd of people, it's like it will keep you safe from
Yeah.
it's like people will give you a wide berth if
Yeah.
we put it.
And it's got more room to move. It's got more room to move in there now as well. Like
Yeah.
there's more movement.
Mm-hmm. Certainly the heart and pericardium feel very safe and secure. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we see if there are any other people we can extend the line to, the upper line invitation to? It's not quite ready to expand beyond the sort of already included people. It might need to build a bit more of some in some way in order before it can bring in people who are less awake.
To me, it feels like those people are just walking with their head down, like they're just so they're not even aware of anything that's happening. They can't see it or feel it. They're just like,
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you're saying. My feeling is though that this whole structure or level might not be ready to receive that lower vibration yet.
yeah,
Like it might drag it down,
yeah,
like we had in the beginning when we tried to bring the lower
yeah,
line up.
yeah,
Uh, so that might be why there's only a few little dots or circles vibrating. There's only like 2 or 3 migrating from the bottom at the moment. We might have had sort of the initial wave of people who are already aligned. And so it might need to build some more. I don't know what it needs to build, but it might need to build more before it can accommodate less aware people.
Yeah.
And still remain steady and intact and
Yeah.
Yeah. But it certainly is much, much more complex now.
Yeah.
It's like it's like community
Yeah.
and structures and language and symbols and
Yeah, it's very different to when it started. When it started, it was just a drawing, a two-dimensional drawing on a piece of paper.
yeah. Mm.
It's come alive now.
Yeah. Well, that's really a fantastic
It is.
feeling with it. It's got a life of its own, sort of.
Yeah. And I find it quite easy to connect with it during the day as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. All right.
Thank you.
Done for tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Have
you.
fun. See ya.